I am so excited to record at this spot. I've been trying to get here for so long. There's usually people everywhere, but they are not here. And I am here to talk about Mr. LaJohntay Wester, or better known as, or what I am calling him, Mr. Reliable. He knew what he was getting into when he came to Colorado. He knew that Jimmy Horn was already there. He knew that Travis Hunter was there. So he knew coming into this situation that he could potentially be the third receiver. But he believed in himself. He showed up and he did what needed to be done. And one thing I know for sure throughout the season, the one person, not named Travis Hunter, not named Shedeur Sanders, that I always knew was going to be up for the task was LaJohntay Wester. I knew that Wester every game was going to come to play. I like his attitude. I like his grit. I like that he came into a situation that wasn't necessarily ideal, but he made the situation work. I love when a guy bets on themselves. I love the opportunity that he came into, and I think he made the best of his opportunity. And the fact that he was healthy all season, I like LaJohntay Wester. Let me stop rambling on this side and let me get to the other side of this video and give you more information about my Mr. Reliable, or better known as LaJohntay Wester. I always say there's certain things that never show up on a stat sheet. One of those things that never shows up on a stat sheet is grit. You will never be able to see somebody's grit on a stat sheet. You're never going to be able to see their heart on a stat sheet. You're never going to be able to see how hard somebody works on their stat sheet. Also with Wester, the one thing he does really well is everything he does is smooth. The way he runs routes are smooth. The way he does things, in my opinion, are very smooth. He's one of those players where if you're looking at him on the field, you might not pay much attention to him, but when he starts playing and starts doing things, you're going to look at him slightly different. We all know by now I love a player that has their back against the wall. I love players where everybody is counting them out, or I even like players where people aren't talking about them. So I like him on either end of the spectrum. Talk about me, do all the things, and also don't talk about me and forget that I exist. I like that. I like the position he's in. I mean, let's be honest here. Who doesn't need a receiver that's reliable? Who doesn't need a receiver that can run smooth routes? Who doesn't need a receiver like LaJohntay Wester that can step in and do their jobs? I'm going to talk about him just like I will talk about everybody else on this list. I'm going to talk about their combine, what I feel like they did in the combine, how that looked to me. I'm going to talk about their pro day, how I feel like the pro day went. I'm going to talk about the competition, how I feel like he fared against competition. And then we're going to talk about his stats and the overall team need of where I think he could go and things like that. And then last and finally, we all should know by now, is my good old fashioned eye test. I love a good eye test. I love expressing what I think and what I feel and what I'm seeing. And so that is what I'm going to do in all my eye test sections. The only thing that is an issue with him is obviously probably his size, and he doesn't do anything exceptionally well per se, but I actually think he does. So I'm just going to talk about his stats a little bit here. I'm going to throw them up on the screen. As you look at his information, nothing about this is going to jump out at you and it's going to make you say, yes, we need him on our team right now. He's the guy. I hope we take him with our number 3 pick, right? I got it. That's okay, because everyone is not that guy. That's not everybody's story. That's not everybody's testimony. That's not how people go to the NFL. However, the thing that I think that makes Wester interesting, watching him go through the drills. Now, yes, all I have here are the times, but watching him go through the drills, watching the way his body moves, watching how fluid he is with things, watching how smooth he looked with doing things, I will be honest, I was kind of surprised by how smooth he looked when he was doing things. Being at the combine, it showed me how he compares to other athletes. Now, is he the size of other athletes? No. Is he, whatever you want to say about him compared to other athletes? No. But the way he moves his body and the fluidity with how he does things, he looks like a football player to me. So honestly, in my mind, it kind of fits my narrative and that he's Mr. Reliable in the sense of he's always just going to do the thing. Does that make sense? Like he's always just going to do something where you're kind of like, right, okay, LaJohntay Wester, okay, Wester. So I like that about him. So did he win the combine? No, he didn't lose the combine, but he did do some things that made my eyes remember him and made my brain remember him. And that's what helped me really honestly give him the reliable title, because I kind of feel like that's how he was for Colorado during the season. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to add a comment in the comment section below. And don't forget to check and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. What I didn't know when I created this series that I now know is that the pro day really hasn't been changing my mind much. The pro day really just gives me a check mark to let me know that what I thought before is exactly what I was thinking. For the players that went to the combine, it's almost like I saw them do some things that I wanted to just make sure they continue to do the same things when they came to their pro day. So LaJohntay Wester did the things I thought he was going to do. So nothing really he did change the way that I was seeing him. I will be honest though and say every time I see him, I feel like he gives me a little bit of a reminder of how great of a football player he is. He just looks like a football player. He looks like a receiver. He just does things that make sense to me. I don't know how else to explain that. And so for me, nothing happened wrong with LaJohntay Wester. He is still exactly where I thought he was going to be. Pro day, check. He did everything I thought he was going to do. Nothing really changed for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and get on to the next piece of this. Everyone is probably going to talk about their competition. Yes, but they were in the Big 12. Yes, but the people that they went against, are those people going to get drafted? Yes, but I got it. Okay, I got it. I was on the train all year, right? I'm notorious for that. I got it. He had competition with on his own team and he rose to the occasion. Hell, he still came into battle and still fought to be a starter. I think when it comes to somebody like Wester, the competition doesn't scare me for him because he knows his size as a receiver. He plays his size as the receiver, if that makes sense. He's able to create separation. He's able to run really good routes and he's able to catch the ball. And I know that sounds very basic, but how many receivers do we know on our football teams that we've watched and we always say, oh my gosh, he's always open. He always does this, but he always drops the ball. He always does this. He always does that, but he always drops the ball. Oh my God, he's 6'5", he's so fast, he does this, but he drops the ball. Wester doesn't do that. I don't think the competition matters because that guy's a gamer. That guy wants to play football. I don't think that guy is scared of anybody. I don't think he's scared to go up against anybody. And I think if given the chance, no matter who the cornerback was or safety or who he needed to get open against, I think Wester is going to find a way to get open. He's just a gamer and you can't go against a guy that is a gamer that loves football, that wants to work hard. I just don't think you can go against that. I mean, look at his 2024 stats. I mean, 10 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards. That is remarkable. The other thing you have to remember here is that Travis Hunter was on this football team. So not only did he have all of these stats with Travis Hunter being on the football team, he had all of these stats being the new person to come into Colorado. I like that. I like when the new guys can come in and make an impact and stay on the field. And then let's take the stats a step further. Let's go look at his total career stats. Looking at his total career stats, he continued to get better and better and better. Any team can benefit from having a receiver. Any team can benefit for having really a slot receiver that they can throw in there that can catch passes. Even if you say to me he's only going to play 5 possessions or 7 possessions, I think if you throw the football his way, I think he's going to make a fan base and a quarterback very happy, and that's great for him. I want to see LaJohntay Wester on a football team in the NFL because I want to see what dynamics he can bring to a team. Having said all of that, here's the thing about LaJohntay Wester. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like, though, he is wherever he goes, I don't think he's going to leave that team. So whether he's drafted or an undrafted free agent, I think he's going to stay there. Because I have picked everybody else in this series, if I had to guess, I would say LaJohntay Wester is going to be undrafted or he's definitely going to be a day 3 guy. But I do believe that once he gets on a team and people see how hard he works and people sees what he does, I think he's going to maintain on a team because of how I've seen him play. I think his size is probably going to end up being a thing. However, his size is not going to limit him from being able to be in the NFL. What is going to keep him in the NFL is his reliability, his ability to make plays, and his ability to get yards after the catch, because yak yards are very important in the NFL. The other thing I think that LaJohntay Wester brings to the table that a lot of people don't have is his punt return ability. That punt return ability is going to help him, and I think it's going to end up being a bright spot because that's another way that he can make a team, and that's something else that he's going to be able to do for a team, and that is important. And I think he's going to make a difference. I think he's going to make a difference. If you were asking me would I buy stock in LaJohntay Wester today, I would absolutely buy stock in LaJohntay Wester. I don't care if he's drafted. I don't care if he's an undrafted free agent. I don't care how he gets on a team. I would 100% take stock in LaJohntay Wester. So that concludes my thoughts on my Mr. Reliable or my LaJohntay Wester. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and I will see you in my next video.